Blaster fire ripped through the air. Captain Cole Maddox dove behind a smoking pile of debris as enemy drones swarmed overhead. The ground shook. The sky was full of fire. Around him, human soldiers screamed, fighting to hold the last defensive line against the Varelian Empire. They were losing. Suddenly, a strange silence cut through the chaos. Maddox turned. Through the smoke, an alien princess stepped onto the battlefield. Tall, silver-skinned, and wrapped in royal armor that shimmered like starlight, she walked straight toward him. Enemy soldiers lowered their weapons, watching her in shock. His pulse pounded. He raised his rifle, ready to fire, but the princess didn't attack. She dropped to her knees before him, her head bowed. Both armies froze, blasters lowered, engines silenced. The battle just stopped. What was she doing? Why was everyone staring at him? Then Maddox saw it. The old worn symbol on his uniform, his father's uniform. The same symbol the princess now touched with trembling hands. When she spoke, her voice carried across the field. The lost one has returned. And in that moment, Cole Maddox realized something terrifying. He had just become the most wanted man in the galaxy. Cole Maddox couldn't move. Thousands of eyes were locked on him, human soldiers, Varelian warriors. Even the skies seemed to wait. What was this symbol? It was just an old patch on his father's uniform. He'd worn it for luck. Nothing more. The alien princess slowly stood. Her silver eyes burned with something Maddox didn't understand. Hope? Fear? Worship? You carry the mark of the first human emperor, she whispered, her voice shaking. The symbol of the one who united the stars. Maddox's stomach dropped. This had to be a mistake. I don't know what you're talking about, he said, gripping his rifle tighter. I'm just a soldier. But the princess didn't step back. She knelt again, louder this time, her voice ringing out. I bow to the heir of the lost throne. The Varelian army, once full of hate, dropped to their knees beside her. Human soldiers looked at each other, confused, afraid. Someone fired a shot. Panic exploded. The silence shattered. The war reignited twice. As deadly, Maddox didn't wait. He grabbed the princess by the arm. Move! He shouted. As they ran from the battlefield, one terrifying thought chased him. Why is everyone suddenly willing to die for me? Explosions chased them through the burning trenches. Maddox dragged the alien princess behind him, dodging blasts as human and Varelian soldiers opened fire, not at each other, but at him. Both sides wanted him dead now. This is insane, he yelled, pulling her into a wrecked transport. Why are they shooting at me? What did you do? The princess's breath came hard. You wear the mark. That makes you a threat to everyone, even your own people. Maddox slammed his fist against the control panel, trying to start the engine. I didn't ask for this. You carry a power you don't understand, she said, gripping his shoulder. They'll hunt you to the edge of the galaxy. The transport roared to life. Above them, ships broke formation. Both human commanders and Varelian generals gave the same order. Capture or kill Captain Cole Maddox. The princess's voice was cold and certain. You need me to survive this. I don't trust you, Maddox snapped. You don't have a choice. Blaster fire rained down as Maddox gunned the transport into the sky. Behind them, two armies raced to follow. He had just become the most wanted man alive, and he had no idea why. The stolen transport rattled as it broke through the planet's atmosphere. Maddox gripped the controls, sweat burning in his eyes. Alarms screamed. Enemy fighters closed in fast. The alien princess sat beside him, calm, too calm. You bowing to me. It wasn't surrender, was it? Maddox said, jaw tight. She met his stare. No, it was a declaration. A declaration of what? War. His pulse slammed against his ribs. Explain, now. She shifted, her silver armor catching the light. By bowing to you, I invoked the right of succession. The Varelian Empire sees you as a rightful heir now. Some will follow you. Some will destroy you. And humans? They'll kill you too, she said, her voice sharp. Your leaders fear power they can't control. Maddox cursed under his breath. So, by accident, I've just declared myself the spark of a galactic rebellion? Not by accident, she whispered. By destiny. Enemy ships locked onto them. Red targeting lights danced across the cockpit. We're not going to make it. Maddox shouted. The princess touched his hand. You will, you must. Blaster. Fire lit the skies as they dove into deep space alone, hunted, and carrying a power both sides would die to control. The transport shuddered in the cold grip of deep space. Maddox slammed it into autopilot and turned on the princess. Tell me why I should trust you, he barked. You dragged me into this. I don't even know your name. She lifted her chin. Kayla, Princess of House Varelian. Maddox narrowed his eyes. House Varelian is the empire that's been trying to wipe out humans for decades. And now, she said, steady and cold, my empire will try to wipe you out. He paced the cabin, anger burning in his chest. You started a war on my back. You said I needed you to survive. Why? Kayla's silver gaze didn't flinch. Because I know where you need to go. There's a place. A hidden world that will tell you the truth about your symbol, your bloodline, and your power. And you'll just help me? He asked, out of the kindness of your royal heart. I'm helping you, she said, her voice sharp. Because if you fall, my people will burn me alive. Maddox laughed bitterly. Great, so we're both dead if we lose. Exactly, Kayla said. Neither of them trusted the other. But trust didn't matter anymore. Survival did. The stars blurred past as the transport raced through the void. Maddox stared at the star map Kayla projected in the dim cockpit light. This is it, she said quietly. The throne world, lost to time and war. The last refuge of the first human empire. Maddox's heart thumped. A myth. Not anymore. The hidden world appeared on the sensors covered in ruins, surrounded by deadly asteroid fields. Ancient defenses hummed to life as they approached. Welcome home, Kayla whispered. Maddox's fingers trembled as the ship landed in a broken city, where towering statues and faded banners told stories of a forgotten empire. Inside, they found relics of power, old weapons, data archives, and the legendary throne itself empty, waiting. Kayla turned to him, her eyes fierce. You carry their blood. You are their heir. It's your destiny to rebuild what was lost. Maddox looked out over the silent ruins and felt the weight of the galaxy pressing down. This changes everything, he said. Kayla nodded. And now the real fight begins. The calm of the hidden throne world shattered like glass. Kayla's royal guard appeared suddenly, weapons raised. Maddox's heart slammed. He had trusted her, but not them. Drop your weapon. One barked, Kayla's eyes flashed, but she stayed silent. Maddox hesitated, then threw his rifle aside. I'm not your enemy, he said, voice steady. The guard's gun didn't lower. Instead, a sharp voice whispered into Kayla's ear. She glanced away, torn. Suddenly, blaster fire erupted from the shadows. Maddox barely dodged. It was a trap, Kayla hissed, grabbing his arm. My own people want you dead. Betrayed and outnumbered, they raced through crumbling corridors. Explosions shook the ancient walls as enemies closed in. Maddox shouted, Why would they turn on us now? Kayla's voice cracked. Power scares even those closest to me. They fought side by side, forced to trust each other more than ever. As they escaped the throne world's ruins. Maddox knew one thing for sure in this war. Betrayal was the deadliest weapon. News of Maddox's survival spread like wildfire. Across distant planets, whispers of the human symbol ignited hope. Kayla stood beside him as they addressed a crowd of rebel fighters, aliens and humans alike. Their eyes burned with determination. When the human banner rises, Maddox said, voice steady. We unite not as enemies, but as allies. The crowd roared. Ships bearing the human emblem joined the fight. Kala's voice softened. Planets once loyal to the Empire, now pledged to our cause. But Maddox felt the weight of leadership pressing harder than ever. Each new alliance came with risks. Betrayal lurked in the shadows. Trust was fragile. Still, the banner grew, a blazing light in the dark galaxy. Maddox knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy was changing, and so was he. The rebel fleet moved through deep space, growing stronger each day. Maddox had become a symbol, a leader people would follow into fire. But Kala had been distant, hiding something. One night, in the silence of the command deck, Maddox cornered her. What aren't you telling me? He asked, eyes sharp. What's the real reason you bowed to me? Kala hesitated, then dropped her guard. My people. We are dying. Maddox froze. She continued, voice heavy with guilt. The Varelian race is facing collapse. Our bloodlines are weakening. When I saw your symbol, I saw a chance not just to unite the galaxy, but to save my people. You used me, Maddox. Sighed, anger rising. I chose you, Kala whispered. But yes, I used you too. Maddox's chest tightened. The alliances, the battles, it all started with her secret gamble. But she looked up at him, her silver eyes unshaken. Now the question is, will you finish what we started? Maddox turned away, his mind a storm. Could he trust her? Could he walk away, or was he already too deep to stop? The final battle came like a storm. Maddox's rebel fleet faced the full might of the Varelian Empire. Warships darkened the stars. Planetary cannons glowed, ready to fire. On the command deck, Maddox tightened his grip on the controls. Kala stood at his side, calm but watchful. This is it, she said quietly. The galaxy is watching. Maddox's voice was hard. They didn't expect a human to stand here, but I did. His fleet charged. Blaster fire lit the darkness. Explosions ripped through enemy lines. Betrayers struck from the shadows. Allies fell. But Maddox pushed forward. When his ship was hit, he fought through fire and smoke to reach the heart of the enemy fleet. Face to face with the Varelian High Commander, Maddox gave him a choice, surrender or see his empire crumble. The High Commander chose pride. Maddox chose to fight. In the end, it wasn't just weapons that won. It was the banner, the symbol, the belief. When Maddox raised the human insignia, entire worlds rose with him. The war shook the stars, and a soldier no one knew became the ruler no one could stop.